For those who avidly follow the trivia of Mario Kart 8, you may know that at one point, the game would feature the ability for players to drill through the ground. By the final build of Mario Kart 8, drilling into the ground was dropped in favor of the game's anti-gravity feature. At long last, starting with this game, on almost every retro track, the start-finish line sign contains either the old or new Mario Kart logo, and is dependent on what game the track being raced on was originally from. Tracks from Super Mario Kart up to Mario Kart Double Dash will have the old logo. Mario Kart DS to Mario Kart 7 tracks will all use the current Mario Kart logo. GC and Yoshi Circuit, GBA Cheeseland, and GBA Ribbon Road are the only retro tracks to abide from this trend, as those tracks unfittingly use the current Mario Kart logo out on top of the start-finish line. For any track that displays text, mainly on signs and billboards, are written in American English, no matter the language or region the game is being played in. This was presumably done in order to ensure connection stability during online play. So, for those who thought Mario Kart 8's character roster was littered with too many metal or baby versions of characters, head on over to GC and Baby Park and get a load of this statue of none other than a baby pink gold Peach. Hello everybody, Nintendo 14 here, welcome back to the Year of Mario Karts. Last part, we went over the 5 things I liked about Mario Kart 8 in the 3rd and 4th battle arenas here in this Mario Kart 8 version. Best words to put it up in. Anyways, we're going to be playing as Lakitu, and we're going to be going over the 5 things I don't like about Mario Kart 8. The flip side of things I don't like about this game. And this game does have a lot of holes in it. And that's it just content-wise and some mechanical things here and there. So for this video, let's go ahead and count them down here, as I'm selecting my kart combo and just all my settings, all getting ready for the next 2 battle arenas we'll be doing in this video, and then shortly afterwards, if we have the time to do so, we'll fit in a couple online races here. So let's start things off with the Mario circuit for this game. That'll be our first arena. Sorry if you guys are probably hearing my computer in the background. It's got such a noisy cooling fan. But enough about that. As we're gonna go off and do battle here in this topsy-turvy Mario circuit. The number 5 thing I don't like about Mario Kart 8, it's the character roster. Now quickly, on the belief that maybe this could be higher on most people's list, but you know what? I can deal with the fact that you don't have to play as all those rehashed characters, such as the babies and the metal versions of characters and costume versions of characters, because you know what? Besides those, there's some decent characters you could be playing as well. So you still got your Waluigi and your DK, your Wario and your Bowser. Those are my top favorite characters, and you know I'd play as them a lot more than, say, Baby Rosalina, Metal Mario. Actually, I do like Metal Mario. He's out of all the reskins, he's my favorite. But Tanuki Mario, Cat Peach are, I think, throwaways. Why so much uninspired character roster is just beyond me. The Mario Kart Wii is just so much better, and you know we didn't expect these kind of characters. Although this game, with Pink Gold Peach and all that, I guess we didn't technically expect that. But you know what? It's not in a good way we didn't expect it. This is just when you see it, you're just underwhelmed on what it is. But anyways, to me, I think with all these rehashed characters, it took away from better characters that could have been in this game instead. Like Bowser Jr., King Boo. Oh wait, those can't come back in Deluxe. But they're alongside all these rehashed characters. So instead of having these rehashed characters, we could have had characters like maybe Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Magic Koopa. There's so many characters out there that haven't even debuted in Mario Kart 8 and would have been a really good fit. Or did I say Mario Kart 8? Just there's characters that have never been in a Mario Kart game, and they would have been really good fits if they actually do make if they make an appearance. Like I said, with the Magic Koopa, he's one of them, and there's probably a bunch of others that I can't name off the top of my list or off the top of my head. So yeah, if there was less unoriginal characters, I probably wouldn't even have a the character roster in my dislike list for this game, Mario Kart 8. But anyways, that's enough of number 5 on me ripping on the character roster for this game. Moving on to number 4 of the 5 things I don't like about Mario Kart 8, that will be the battle mode. Yes, this is the very thing that I'm having up on screen. This is not how you do your battle mode, Nintendo. Don't ever do this again. You want to show some care into your battle mode. Don't rehash your racetracks, because racetracks are usually too big for battle mode, even if you have 12 players. So don't ever make a lazy iteration of this battle mode ever again. That also goes for if you're to play battle mode online, because when you get eliminated and lose all 3 of your balloons, you turn into a ghost, just like in Mario Kart DS. But rather than in Mario Kart DS where you're given an item box that you can drive around and help others so they can pick that up, instead you're still able to use items, and for the only reason just to screw other people. You don't get any more points after you're eliminated, so why even bother? It's just some cheap revenge trick that eliminated people can just do because they want to. And on the side of those who are remaining, this is all the more frustrating thing to deal with, because you're trying to take a crack at all the other remaining players, but then you're just there getting screwed by someone who had all the right to get eliminated from losing all their balloons carelessly. So really glad that this is the only game in the whole series that the battle mode is done like this. So yeah, just moving on with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, everything that I'm talking about gets fixed there. There's more game modes rather than balloon battle. Oh, did I even mention that? All it is just balloons, and I think with the move in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the balloon battle, they moved the maximum count of balloons from 3 to 5. For a 12-player room, that is a good move, because with all those 11 other racers, chances are, there's a bigger chance that you'll get hit by one of them. So the extra balloons is really nice, and also rather than being ghosted out after you lose all your balloons, in Deluxe you just lose a couple of your points that you muster from the bottom left, that counter there. And then you respawn with all your balloons, just like it was in Mario Kart Wii. So a good thing that they got right there, but here it's just a dumbed down version that just has a lot of way too much broken stuff for this battle mode, and just mainly the reason why I just about always just go towards versus mode every time I play Mario Kart 8 in my spare time. So yeah, the battle mode stinks in this game. I would, if you're gonna play Mario Kart 8 battle mode, I'd suggest doing it on the Deluxe. You're not missing out on much if you play battle mode for the Wii U Mario Kart 8. Alright, so let's move on to number 3 of the 5 things I don't like about Mario Kart 8. That's the MKTV. Now, I probably have this on my list because how useless it was, or just how much less help that I had with it in my Mario Kart 8 birthday tournament. The tournament that I had this year and the one last year. This could have easily been something that I could have utilized a lot if they had so much more key features to it than just a steady camera angle. If only the MKTV took pages from some of these shooter games that on other systems that have a theater mode. Being able to freely move the camera around on any point of the track, and maybe that way you can better show what's going on, rather than how dumbed down the MKTV is, in that you're only allowed to show a full gameplay of only just one racer, and then the cheesy way of if you want to show multiple racers, you can only show about 1 minute of the race, and then it cuts. So if I were ever able to use MKTV, like just on a casual standpoint, just me uploading it, you wouldn't really know what's going on because of all the cuts. So it's just you don't really get much out of MKTV uploads on YouTube because the races are all jumbled around with all the cuts and all that. And did I even bring up the part that's Nintendo copyrights these the gameplays you upload to YouTube through MKTV? Yeah, that's a real good thing to put in your game. Just put the ability to use MKTV and be able to upload on YouTube, but then restrict yourselves on being able to use it. I mean, the thing with the copyright that rubs people the wrong way is that it intimidates people to use MKTV to upload their things on YouTube because you know, they're afraid that this whole copyright thing might put their channel at risk. So they're afraid to use it, and because of it, you know, why even bother using MKTV in the first place if that kind of stuff could potentially threaten your channel for, I don't know, maybe a copyright takedown, or not copyright takedown, but like a copyright strike, and then, you know, if you have 3 of those, your channel gets taken down. So, you know, something like that shouldn't have to be the case. Why do that? So here's hoping that if Nintendo were to make a proper replay system for Mario Kart 8, or not just Mario Kart 8, but like a future Mario Kart down the road, then hopefully they do it right. And, you know, just take a couple pages from, say, Halo or Call of Duty, where I think they perfected the theater mode for their games. So lengthy discussion on the MKTV, probably another entry that might not even be on your guys' list, but for me, and for running a tournament that could really use a good camera angles, and maybe even keeping track of, you know, who's where, with, say, like the gamepad screen, that would be cool too. So getting down into the top 2 things I don't like about Mario Kart 8. Here's the number 2 entry for the 5 things I don't like about Mario Kart 8, which is going to be a fire hopping. Yeah, easily a spot on just about everybody's list on what they don't like about Mario Kart 8. But the reason I have it at number 2 is that for the reason why it's this high is because, you know, it's the dumbest exploit I could, in my opinion, see out of any Mario Kart game. It's just something that I was never a fan of witnessing or practicing myself, because it just, if you were to see someone else do it, it looks really dumb. Like they're just hopping back and forth to gain speed, and when you do fire hopping, you lose a lot of your handling. Like, it's really tough to handle your cart as you're hopping left and right constantly. And in most cases, it could be there's a learning curve to fire hopping in cases where if you don't hop at the right angle, you're actually losing speed. So that's part of the frustration on if you're trying to fire hop yourself but are not good at it, then, you know, that could easily happen. And then you go up against some racers online, like this, for example. I don't think anyone will start fire hopping in this particular race, but let's just say there were. It can be really frustrating to go up against people who have perfected fire hopping. So overall, just something really frustrating. I'm glad that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe got rid of this. So the playing level is much more balanced once again. So if we're gonna have advanced techniques, I would have loved to see like the soft drifting still there. You know, where like you don't use up all of your direction on the control stick. You know, that was to me that's my favorite advanced technique from Mario Kart 8 is that. And that's a disappointing thing, not seeing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You get rid of the fire hopping, but you also get rid of the soft drifting. Ah, well, I guess maybe in some regards that could be just as powerful as, say, the fire hopping. So, well, we gotta make do without that. So, with that being said, let's get into the number 1 thing I don't like about Mario Kart 8, and probably something that you guys could agree on. If not, then totally understandable. That's gonna be the item balance. God, but I get stuff clogged up my nose. I guess I got allergies. But anyways, the item balance, especially when you're in last place. Why you get bananas, shells, sometimes even coins in dire situations for when you're in 10th place is beyond me. We should not should really get to fixing the items that you could possibly get in those the positions. And also the triple reds I think should not be common as they are in this game, because with the fact that you can only hold one item, and being able to have triple red shells as common as you can in online races really puts a disadvantage for, say, the guy in first, because first place usually only gets about 50% coins and then only one protection item every here and there, so there's a good chance that the first place racer is gonna be hit by all 3 triple reds, and to have the lead just taken away like that. And so, and another thing too, sometimes, with the item, or with how many mushrooms you're given, you can be in 5th and you get triple mushrooms, but then the guy right behind you, he only gets 1. How's that fair? So anyways, there's just so many items that you can get D-pack that won't do you anything, like coins. And then sometimes you can also get a blooper, which will do you squat. And then as well as the coins, I think there should be a thing where if you have 10 coins, your chances of getting coins as an item are decreased. But they have it that way, so that way it can be much more of a race and not a blowout race every time. Well, that's my list of the 5 things I don't like about Mario Kart 8. I can understand if your list may be different, or you may disagree with my list. If so, then you can debate about it in the comments. But enough about that. Enough about me being negative, because that being negative just takes a lot of energy out of me. We're gonna be wrapping up the Mario Kart 8 Wii U section next week with the last section, with the last amount of battle arenas and a couple more online races, and then after that we're moving on to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the modern times of Mario Kart. But first, before that, we gotta wrap up this with this last part here next Tuesday, I hope. So with that being said, see you guys later.